Michael Burton, good morning to you. Welcome to studio.
Good morning.
How are you keeping?
Very good, very good.
We're you're taking on an unbelievable challenge, and we'll get to that in just a little bit. That in my darkest nightmares, I couldn't imagine to have to do to get yourself there, which is 32 Ironmen. What's the official?
So I'm doing 32 half Ironman.
Right.
So that's a 2k swim, a 90k cycle, and a half marathon. I'm doing one consecutively in every county.
That's only half, like.
I know, exactly. That's people keep saying Ironman, and I'm like, it's actually a half.
I mean, still,
I got my mother, like Paddy Riley, a song for every county when I was younger as one of these last-ditch Christmas events. So he has a song for like every county in Ireland. This probably upstaged it, I think.
I think it does a little bit. What are the logistics that go into planning where exactly you're going to do these things?
It's quite difficult. So originally I thought I'd be able to get like a camper van and maybe like get it sponsored. So at the moment I'm more kind of looking at like B&Bs and hotels to stay in, and then just get a van and like travel around. That's probably the hardest bit about it.
Right.
Is the logistics.
The run bit and the swim bit. The run bit and the cycle bit are grand. You can do them anywhere. Yeah. But the swim bit obviously needs a little bit of.
Yeah. So you need to find like in Midlands, you need to find like lakes or rivers. So I pretty much got onto every single triathlon club in the country.
Okay.
And there's one pretty much in every county. So they must have places to train. So I got them to kind of help me out with where I'd be doing a swim or, what route I could take. So I'm trying to keep it as easy as possible because I'm doing consecutive days, so low intensity, and try keep runs and cycles as flat as possible.
We were talking.
Yeah, that definitely helps.
Good planning.
Yeah.
We were talking to Sean O'Hara last November, and he was doing it for Movember as well, actually, one of his charities, and was it 31 marathons in 31 days? Something.
Yeah. I actually went out and ran with him one of the days. Yeah. So one of the girls, Aoife from Movember as well, has kind of put me in contact with him, or is going to put me in contact with him. But he's doing well. He's doing other stuff now as well. So.
We'd spoken to him a couple of times during it, and it was just like the physical thing was obviously one aspect of it, but also the mental thing of, you're getting up every morning and you're back into the same thing, and like the aches and pains you can probably run through to a degree. What's your expectation of the physical side of it? Is it because it's different sports, is it a bit easier to manage, or?
Well, I suppose like the biggest bit of it is the cycle, and there's no impact, or very little impact on that. So like if I have to walk the half marathon, I'll walk it every day. I'm not trying to do it for speed. I'm more trying to just get it done every single day. And I think hopefully getting in the water every day will help with recovery as well. But I have one of my sponsors in Bray is giving me like those recovery boots to bring along with me.
Oh, okay.
So Off Grid in Bray have given me them, so they'll help as well. So yeah.
And you're open to, by the sounds of things, anybody else who wants to get involved and give a bit of support.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I have some really good sponsors. I have two sponsors, Hardy Partnership and Dunlargan Construction, who are like helping me out, actually make it happen. So giving me money for expenses and stuff like that. So anyone who wants to get involved, please do. And if you need to get in contact with us, and we can put people in contact with you as well. We've just been looking at some footage there as you were chatting away of your journey and where you've been at, and you are getting ready. I need to mention this before we go any further. You're getting ready for TriAthy obviously this weekend. I am indeed,
like the rest of us. Sorry-ish.
Yeah.
Where are you at? Like I've done a little bit of training, but maybe not that much. I'm just doing the swim leg. Where are you at now? Is that all prep is done?
So I did my last session this morning before coming in here. So I went in. It was just like a 1k swim in the pool.
Right.
So
straight. I mean, you do that in one go.
I did sets of hundreds, and then builds. So like starting slow, and then 3 easy, 3 medium, 3 hard, and then like a little cool down.
Good swimmer?
I was a good swimmer, yeah. I kind of came back to swimming like beginning of lockdown when I kind of came back to Ireland. But yeah, I'm a decent enough swimmer.
Well, look at the famous words of the great man. We'll see you out there. I don't know. I don't know what sort of shape we'll be in. Well, you won't see me for long. That is for sure. You'll be gone.
You're on Sunday, aren't you?
Sunday. You're probably doing the proper race on Saturday, are you?
I'm doing the proper race. I'm doing
it's like the Egypts arrive out on Sunday morning.
Yeah. So you're doing a 250 metre swim, and I'm doing 3k.
Yeah. They're somewhat
3k swim.
Yeah.
That's if you're those bursts, obviously that 100-meter burst or whatever. How does that work in terms of a 3K swim? Can you?
No, I can't hold it for that long.
Right. So you, at some point, that you have to take a bit of a breather in the water. Is that it, or what?
Well, no. What I'll do is I'll just pick a kind of pace to go at. So
okay,
somewhere in that like 1:50 range per 100 meters, and just try steadily go at that for the whole swim.
150 for 100 meters. Right. Okay. Be somewhat quicker than me, I'd say. Even taking our time, I'd be.
I can't swim at all. That's something I need to get into.
Take us back, will you, to the start of your journey. You're from Enniskerry, and you were very sporty, I think, when you were younger, and then there was a bit of a break. Take us back to Enniskerry when you were younger.
Yeah, so as a kid, I would have been very sporty, like done all sports, GAA, soccer, rugby, athletics. I was actually thinking about this on the way in, and I think I played, a number of sports up until I was about 15, 16. Like Gaelic football and rugby, and then I chose rugby, and then gave up when I was about 17, like going into 6th year, just gave up rugby, and then just had, I suppose, a period of time there where I was just extremely unhealthy, was like dealing with a lot of mental health things, and that kind of brought me up to pretty much the beginning of lockdown. So some people, I suppose, went into lockdown and it was bad for them. For me personally, it was actually a great thing. Like, I started working from home. That, nominate people to do 5K challenge started, and that got me back running again. And then I actually lost my job over in London and had to come back home. And I didn't have a car, so I started cycling everywhere. And I was close to Bray again, so I started swimming again. And then it kind of just went from there. And I was like, I'll do an Ironman straight off the bat. Which was torture. I did that down in Killarney, so it was like the Ring of Kerry, and it was a scorching hot day, and it was just terrible. And then after that I said, you know what, I'm going to do 32 half ones of these in 32 days and do it for charity. So
if we need to stop burning fossil fuels and change the way we live, and I've just thought about this the other day, we would be no less happy doing the things that nature basically allows us to do. And everything you did, swimming, running, cycling, is all in tune with nature and doing natural things that are good for you. You don't need to do fancy things. You don't need to be mega wealthy to be happy.
Yeah,
I think
that's definitely something that is. It's such a good point. Like, where I am now compared to where I was then, especially not like living in London in that kind of
rat race
epicenter. Like, I'm much happier doing what I'm doing now. Like, I left my 9-to-5 job in an office in January and just went kind of working on a golf course, like out in the open every single day, up early. And my whole mindset and mood has just gone to a whole different level. I'm just in a much better place now than I ever was before.
You mentioned, was it about 18 that you noticed some sort of mental health issues had cropped up? Was that around leaving cert time, or what was it?
Yeah, it was leaving cert time. Like, my mum will tell you that I didn't really put too much effort into the leaving cert. I was more concerned about my 6-year holiday. But that sort of time, I suppose, I would have been struggling quite a lot with kind of self-worth and who I was in with regards to like my friend group and whether or not I even wanted to be here, to be honest. So that whole kind of, and I would have used like drink and kind of partying as like a release rather than just going out and having a run, and using more, I suppose, better ways to combat like my mental health issues. Now, exercise isn't like a fix-all for like mental health, I must say that, but it definitely is a way in which to help it rather than going out and drinking all the time.
Was that something that was bubbling up for you, and suddenly you realised that or was it so? It was more.
Yeah, it was something that I would have had probably from from a young enough age of like 14. But I was doing a lot of sport then, and when I gave everything up, like everything just went completely off the rails for me. Up until I was about 23, 24.
It's an awful challenge for young people as well when they leave school, and that progression from being basically a kid to an adult where the real world is there. I think it's really, really difficult for people.
So much pressure is put on people to know what they want to do, to go into certain jobs, to
even the leaving cert.
But so much pressure is put on, and sometimes it's not even pressure from other people. It's just societal pressure, and then you end up putting it on yourself. And you're looking at your friends doing certain things, you're like, why am I doing that, or why don't I enjoy doing that? And then it just kind of rolls over.
Talk to us a little about that spiral nature, because I think like the point about the leaving cert is so important, particularly given the time of the year that we're at right now, and the number of people out there who are having these battles themselves. And like we had Sean O'Hara in, and he was talking about that thing of not having the toolbox or the communication, the ability to be able to talk to people and communicate that stuff. Can you talk to us a little bit about your experience, because I think people will get something from it, Michael, if you don't mind, just in terms of that spiral, and like you mentioned about, you know, your friend group and that type of thing, how that played out for you over that period of time.
I suppose for me, it just, a lot of it was just so irrational, like irrational thoughts that I didn't have the tools to deal with, to understand and put things into perspective, and like to take a step back and be like, actually no, this is what's actually happening, and this is what I'm perceiving that's happening. And that's a huge thing for, I think, young people. Like it's just, I think nowadays in the environment that we have and the society that we have, it's just so important for young people to actually learn about what's real and what's not real, because there's so much stuff for teenagers that they see and they perceive it to be real because they don't know what's actually real and what's not real on social media and stuff like that. And this creates just an unhealthy environment for people moving up through the world and into kind of adulthood about what's actually real and what's not real. And for me, I just struggled with understanding, even within my friend group, around, you know, what was actually happening and what I was perceived happening, and what I was what my head was telling me rather than what was actually the case. Yeah.
And you mentioned earlier on that it got very bad for you. You think the phrase you used was you weren't sure if you wanted to be here. I did make attempts at my life on a number of occasions, which I look back at now and just think, you know, that was so silly. Like, I have amazing friends, I have an amazing family, I've got an amazing group of people around me now, and I had all those people there, but I just didn't open my mouth or like seek any sort of help whatsoever around, you know, speaking out about like the issues that I was having. And a problem, and it's so cheesy to say, but like a problem shared is a problem halved. And like the minute I started to open up, even to like my friend group or family, stuff just became a lot better. And then when I went and got like went in and did like different sort of like courses like CBT and different things like that, it just, my whole outlook on life just became so much better.
You get wrapped up as well in your own kind of thing, and like it just becomes so big. But like everyone has an issue. Like everyone in this world has some sort of an issue, and we're all just like plugging along at times. And you got to appreciate that. Like, it is so easy to say you know, talking is good and that, but it really is. Like, it really is, even to your friend. Like,
I can't stress it enough. Like, and it's that thing that happens sometimes where it's like this like negative loop in your head. And it can just go on and on and on. Like, it can go on for weeks, or it can go on for days. It doesn't really have a time frame.
And it'll have a weight.
Exactly, and it just has this weight, and it just like brings you down and makes you tired, and just stresses you out. And the sooner you can just be like sit somebody down and say, "This is what's going on," like the better it becomes straight away.
Do you remember the first conversation you had? So the importance of speaking and talking to somebody about it.
Yeah.
But that moment of going, I need help, or I need to talk about this thing. Do you remember the first conversation you had about it?
Yeah, first conversation I had was with my mum. And then the second conversation I had was with a couple of my friends on different occasions, but like within the same time frame. And
was your mum going, okay, I get it now? Or what was the... is it just, again, in terms of people that are tuned in and interested in that area of it? And
she was probably like, she was probably a bit worried and then a bit concerned, and then even at that time when I had have talked about it, like there was a time frame after that where I probably got a little bit worse rather than got better, where I probably went even more off the rails, which I'd say for her was quite stressful. But then kind of when I moved away to London and that whole rat race, that was a whole different aspect to where I kind of was mentally. But now, like, just I'd say she's probably looking at me and saying, just thank God, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not there.
And you have to obviously keep up your mental health, and the exercise thing, like you say, helps. There's probably, I'm sure there's a load of little sort of bits and pieces that you can be doing, so that's the sort of thing you need to check in with yourself, I presume, every now and then, and just say, where am I at? And
like I just try to do things, try to have a routine like every single day, of just, I suppose, being grateful for everything that you have and everything that you can do. Even just taking like 5 minutes to just, say 3 things that you're grateful for in a day helps.
Somebody once said to me that, like, there's, even in terms of this business and the, feedback loop that you get, or people giving you bits of feedback or criticism at times or whatever, you only have to look at the YouTube comments this morning and you'll get a sense of what's going on. But that no YouTube commenter would be as harsh on you as you are yourself. That sort of inner speak can be pretty cutting at times, which I think is something that people don't often communicate about.
Yeah, 100%. You are definitely your own hardest critic. I've definitely found that, like, even like when different situations would happen and I'd be like stressing out about what I might have said or how I was around somebody, and then I'll say it to a friend and they'll be like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
It's not how it's not how it was.
It's funny as well in lockdown when you saw the amount of people who had started like sea swimming and cycling or running and realising, oh my God, like to get into the water for 2 minutes, like when it's cold, without even swimming, you come out and all your problems have actually just gone. It's amazing.
Every time I say this, like, I go to like the seafront and like I'd be with a friend or something, they'd be like, oh, I don't really want to get in. I'd be like, you never regret a sea swim. Just get in and get out. Like,
it's like the worst part is that like 10 seconds just before you get in.
Yeah.
Even the getting in bit is not the worst. It's that.
No, once you get in February or March, it's actually when you're in the water. But the colder it is, the better you feel afterwards. And like I've been saying this, we need to get like solar showers at all these spots so that you can get in and have a hot shower afterwards and just get rid of that fear. Because it's an amazing experience. Like, you go in with a million problems and half of them are gone when you come out.
Yeah, they need shelters as well at all these places, and like places where you can have like secure, like, leave your stuff.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And it's free.
It's free.
It's free, like.
Have you, Sean, again, when we were talking to him last November, was talking about the idea that once he started speaking about it, I think this might be the first time you've spoken about it in this type of a platform.
Yeah.
So you might be sort of prepared for this bit. But have you found that he found that other people would come and chat to him and open up themselves about where they were at? Have you found?
Yeah, I would have found that a lot. Yeah. And I suppose I haven't been shy about it, put it up on like any of my social platforms as well. Like, I've put up videos talking about it and talking about like where I was at headspace wise and other things like that. So and I put out a promo video for this and I talk about it in that as a whole. So
isn't that amazing progression where you went from like being unable to look after yourself to suddenly helping loads of other people?
Yeah,
like that's a great journey.
Yeah, well, that's the power and of having an open, honest conversation like this. So we really appreciate you coming in.
We should have this slot now every day, like where we kind of like self-help kind of.
Self-help, yeah. Well, you could lead the way on that, Johnny. Jigsaw, Movember, and the Irish Cancer Society are the 3 charities that you're raising money for.
Yeah.
There'll be plenty of people watching this morning who'll want to get involved. What's your? Tell them where they should go.
Yeah. So I have on my Instagram, I have my link tree, so that has an I donate link, so the money put into there will be split between all 3 charities. I also have a website up, the 32 challenge, where it has like a little brief around everything. You can get links to my socials as well. I do have an Instagram page for the challenge, but I don't have access to it at the moment because Instagram locked me out for some reason, so I'm having a bit of a row with them about trying to get back into that. I was posting all my workouts every single day. But yeah, that's where you'll get me. And Michael Burton is my personal page. I'm posting stuff on there as well. Great. And look, at people who are watching will be following us as well, so we'll put out that on our own social accounts over the course of the afternoon as well. Thanks a million for coming in. Thanks for being so honest, and we're going to keep tracking things with you over the next while as well, and we will see you in Athy, of course, is the yeah I'll be there tomorrow bright and early.